Hey Meeple people, and on today's vlog, we're going to be playing Not Dice by Black Oak Games. Let's get to it! Hey Meeple people, and hello Sarah.
Hi there.
So Sarah, what game are we playing on today's vlog?
Today we are going to be checking out the Not Dice Deluxe game system from Black Oak Games. The deluxe version supports 1 to 4 players, and like I said, it is kind of a game system, so it's not just one game, it's a whole bunch of games that all use the same components but have different rule sets depending on which game in the system you're going to play. There are also puzzles that you can do with these components as well. We're not going to touch on the puzzles today, but we are going to talk about the sort of first 3 introductory games in the games book for this one, and that is the Kells series. So there's Not Dice Kells, then Not Dice Kells books, and then Not Dice Kells the Abbey. And so we are going to play and discuss those 3 games on the channel today, but there are so many more in the book for this. And like I said, there is a whole nother book of just puzzles that you can work on if you want to with these components as well. So lots and lots and lots going on with this one. We're just going to kind of cover the introductory
introductory cooperative games to get
exactly.
you kind of getting the feel for the game.
Exactly.
And
there are competitive games though, there are cooperative games, there are those puzzles. You can play this as a solo game, you can play this with up to 4 players because it is the deluxe version of the game, which comes with extra dice. So lots and lots of variability going on here. So I think without further ado, we'll jump into the first game, which is a very, very basic co-op experience where we are going to be using these dice in an attempt to create Celtic knots. So you'll see that they have these sort of like openings here, and sometimes they'll have multiple openings, like there's one here, there's one here. And essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing these die in such a way that we are sort of building a Celtic knot. And for the very first game, basically we just need to get all of the dice built into the knot so that at the end of the game there are no openings left.
Yeah.
And it's like winner takes all sort of thing. You either win or lose this game.
And you you can discard some dice during the game, but you can only discard 3. If you discard more than 3, then you're done. But yeah.
So we're going to be drafting die and trying to build this Celtic knot here. We will be working together, so I'll be able to see, like Nick will have some die and I will have some die, and we'll kind of be able to see, and we could, work together. We'll say like, okay, if I do this one here, then you could use that one here, and so we will be working together to build this knot, and essentially, like I said, we either win or lose entirely based on whether or not we are able to complete the knot design by the time we have used up all of the dice. In the second game, we're going to be carrying that just a little bit further in that we can make multiple designs. They'll still have to touch one another. So for example, this would be one design. It's open right here. We're still trying to figure out a way to close this off. But in the second game, I could start a second design as well. Now we can work both this way and this way. And in that version, we don't necessarily have to use all the dice. We won't lose if we are not able to use all the dice, but we're going to be scored based on the number of dice we are able to use.
Yeah, and any dice that aren't in a completed design are discarded, and then you start on the second one. It's called the book, so it's the next page. Whatever game or dice you have left, you'll start creating until you have no dice left, and then you'll see kind of your final score, and then you can compare to your previous games.
Right, and then finally the third one we're going to play is my personal favorite of the 3. It is called the Abbey, and in the Abbey we are going to be doing very similar things to what we've been doing in the previous 2 games, but in this one we're actually going to be building a wall. So we're going to be building this vertical wall will be built up something like this kind of thing. And we're going to be adding dice to the wall in an attempt to complete the design in a sort of vertical upward build out sort of thing. And in that one, it's similar to the second one in that you can start different designs if you want to, but you do have to try to close off as many of them as you can, and you'll lose dice that are not included in designs that are completed. And then you'll just play again and again and again until you're no longer able to complete designs. So we are going to play through all 3 of those games, and I believe what we're going to do, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, is we're going to play through the first one, and then we'll stop and we'll kind of come in and talk about how we felt about the first one.
Yeah.
Then we'll play the second one, we'll come in and talk about how we felt about that one. Then finally we'll play the third one. We'll talk about how we felt about that game, and then we'll talk about how we feel about the system as a whole, as well as some of the things we didn't cover, like those competitive games or the puzzles or that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and jump into it again. Not Dice by Black Oak Games. All right. See you guys in a sec. Toodles! Welcome back, Meeple people, and hello, Sarah.
Hi there.
So, how'd it go in our first game?
Well, we lost.
Yeah.
So this was a game of Kells, which is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. Takes about 15 minutes and has a low complexity. The story is that we are illustrators creating a page for the Book of Kells, and the Book of Kells is described as a cooperative work of 3 artists and 4 scribes producing the world's most famous example of Celtic knot art, an illuminated manuscript called the Book of Kells. So we were supposed to be cooperating to create a book, a page for the Book of Kells. We got pretty close in this game. In order to win, what you need to do is complete a knot design.
It's pretty.
It is very pretty. So we were supposed to complete a knot design by finishing off any openings in the knot design. But in order to win, we would have needed to discard fewer than 3 dice, and we did have to discard exactly 3. So we actually lost by having to discard 3 dice. However, we did complete a pretty design. I think we're ready for the next challenge, which would be Kells the Book. And in this one, same thing. It's a 1 to 4 player game with a medium complexity. And for this one, we are illustrators and we are creating many pages for a new manuscript. So this one is going to be really similar to the game we just played. However, instead of having to work on the same contiguous design, we could, if we wanted to, start a new design and work on multiple open designs at the same time.
Yeah, as long as they're separate, like how she just placed it, that's kind of like the new rule we get to do. And then after we're done, any ones that are not completed get discarded, those dice get discarded, and then we are left with the dice that we still have. And then we'll start on the next page, and then we'll score for each page to see how far we get. And then we can, if we played a previous game, we can go ahead and kind of see how well we did on our previous scoring of that game.
I believe there's a section.
There's a section
here,
where I think you can record.
Where you can record your. I'm sorry, I'm not finding it very quickly, but
there's a page like that.
Yeah, there's a page where you can record all of your sort of like your scores, so that you can kind of keep track of things from game to game and see, how well you did over the course of multiple games. And I apologize, but I'm not finding that. Maybe I will grab it off camera and then we can show you when we come back for the end of game on this one.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the next game, the book, or the Kells of Books. It might be called something different, but I think it's like Books.
Kells the Book.
Kells the Book. And so yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump in that, and we'll get back to you guys in a little bit. So yeah, toodles! Welcome back, Meeple people, and hello, Sarah.
Hi there.
So how did our second game go?
So we got through the first round of the second game with all but 2 of our dice. We had to lose 2 of our dice.
We did really good.
Yeah, we did all right. But then in the second round, we were not able to close off a single design. Therefore, we lost all the rest of the dice.
We got too ambitious.
Yeah,
I think we were trying to do like...
A little bit. We started out good. We had like some tight groupings to begin with, but then we got a little bit too...
Too nuts.
Yeah.
Too naughty.
So we're going to go ahead and play the third and final game in the Kells series. This one is called The Abbey, and in this one it's really, really similar to this game that we've just played, except that instead of building all one single layer,
like
we are going to be able, we're going to be able to build up. So maybe we start with like this, and then we add maybe, let me get a good one, like this. Right, and then we build maybe one like this, and you can see this design. Whoops! You can see this design start to come about as we. Yeah,
it's the design from the camera's perspective, like this one like that's facing towards us, and you can't have any paths going into the table, and like same rules. You can start a new design. It just can't. Like for that one, it wouldn't be legal because that one would be going into that one.
Sorry, I'm building.
It's fine. It's just, Sarah's building like away from us, so she can't really see everything.
Let's try that.
Yeah, something like that. See, like something like that.
And then I think we.
And then you can start putting them on top of each other.
Does this work?
That does work.
Okay, and then I think you can do. So you build vertically as well as horizontally in this one. And we're going to go ahead and try it. Should we try it, Nick?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this one.
All right.
And see if we can at least pull one win out. Well, I mean, we didn't really lose the last one. We just got a very, very, like, low score. We only wrote
one page in the book. We were supposed to write, like, multiple pages, but we...
score, like, more points.
We were not good scribes, and we only really accomplished one page. So, we'll try this one. We'll see how much of the Abbey walls we can get built.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump back into Not Dice and start formulating or creating our Abbey wall. All right, talk to you guys in a second. Toodles! Welcome back, people, and hello, Sarah.
Hi there.
So how did it go on our last game of Not Dice?
I feel like we're slightly better bricklayers than book writers because we made it through 3 rounds of the Abbey before we died. Or I guess before we were not able to.
We lost on, what, 6 dice left? We had 6 dice left.
Yeah, we had 6 dice left, and we were not able to complete that round. So we made it through 2 rounds of the Abbey, whereas we only made it through 1 round of the book.
And if y'all noticed on our time lapse, Sarah actually moved over to my side of the table, and we played it because it's hard to do it. You know, you're straining your neck if you're playing across the table from somebody.
We could have moved it, like this, and we could have. So then, we could have continued to sit on our own side, and then we could have, played like this kind of thing.
Yeah, but then you just see how Sarah was.
Yeah, it's not very comfortable, and both players have to do that. So I just moved over, and we sat on the same side of the table and kind of built it together. This game, I think, is fine as a multiplayer experience. It definitely promotes cooperation, and it can be fun to experience the game together. But I think it's definitely also incredibly well suited to being a solo experience.
Yeah.
Now, we have only played through the first 3 games in the sort of like series. There are a bunch more.
Yeah, and this is to really get you kind of comfortable with the game and everything.
Some of the basic concepts and stuff.
Because then there's not cooperative. It's more of like a speedy,
Yeah, there are competitive games. Yeah. There are puzzles. Some of the puzzles look really cool. We didn't work on any of the puzzles, but there are all different kinds of puzzles, from like ones that are sort of reminiscent of like a Rubik's Cube, where you're like rotating things to try to find like the right die face, to ones where like you have to build up an entire column of the die, and each side of the column has to have like a complete design, and that one gets progressively harder and harder and harder as you use more and more dice. and there's just all different kinds of puzzles that you can do. There are those ones, you remember when you were kids, maybe if you had one of those little picture puzzles and you had to slide the pieces, there's, one open square and you like slid the pieces. It's like that. There's one where like you put the
them on the
dice
floor,
on the table, and you kind of like slide them around trying to complete the puzzle. So lots and lots of puzzles in there, plenty more games, some really neat stuff. Overall, what did you think of the Not Dice Deluxe system, Nick?
Well, the Not Dice Deluxe system, it comes with 36 dice, so 2 sets of 18. So if you had like one set going on a puzzle and then another set to play with a friend or some other people, because I think some of them go to like 3 and 4 players. Some
I believe
more.
You can play with
probably all of them.
You can play a bunch of the games that I was looking at with 3 players with only half of the number of dice included, but because they've included twice as many die, you can actually play with up to 4 players.
Yeah, and there's some games where you could just add another set of 18 dice, and it would be like, it'd just be a longer game.
You can play like an infinite number of people, just every extra player needs another set of die. They're really pretty die. I actually kind of just sort of played with them a little bit and like made my own little design, and that was really fun. I enjoyed doing that as well.
Yeah, I thought they were really pretty. But you said you'd like to see them heavier. Yeah,
I do wish they were a little bit heavier. They're sort of like a plastic, I guess. I'm not sure if that's really the right word, but they've got that sort of feel to them. Like a standard die in any game, but they look like they're made out of like jade or something like that. So I was when I looked at them, I was expecting them to weigh more than they do. And I think that would have been nice if they would have been a little heavier, but they're not like cheap die by any means.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think overall it's a neat little system. If you like puzzles, if you like solo games, if you like strategic games, if you like sort of abstract strategy, if you like abstract strategy games, if you enjoy
portable games,
this is definitely, it comes with, the deluxe version comes with this gorgeous black bag,
and you can fit all the stuff in there.
Everything for the whole game in this bag, and just carry this around with you if you want to.
Nice game to put in like a quill or something, or
like
a quiver, or in one of your game bags, and not take up too much space.
Yeah.
And as we are starting to being able to play with more and more people, finally, not too many, but like, you can go ahead and bring it up to like, 2 or 3 people at a game group, or a little bit more, however you feel comfortable, and however, obviously if your players are vaccinated,
or if you're comfortable, even if they're not.
Yeah. Because I know some people
are perfectly comfortable playing with people who are unvaccinated, and if that
as long as they're vaccinated, I guess. Yeah,
that's okay too. So I think it's a neat little game system. I think there's a lot going for it. It's
not just one game.
Exactly. It has so much versatility.
Yeah, exactly.
And not just the games. I'm so pleased they have 2 different books. There's one for the games and then one for the puzzles as well. And this really just feels like this whole bonus layer. I feel like they didn't even have to include like half as many games as they did, but then they also included the puzzles. And I just think that was really generous and pretty cool, because it showcases the versatility of the die, as well as offering you, some alternative options as far as like, play styles and that kind of thing. So I think that's really neat.
Definitely. All right. Well, that was our vlog of Not Dice by Black Oak Games. We hope you all enjoyed it. And if you're interested, go check them out. We'll have links in the description below to their BGG page, and I'm pretty sure we have one to their website. But yeah, we'll go ahead and put that all in there so you all can check it out. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel so you can keep up to date on all of our upcoming and already past videos that we've had. And yeah, we'll see you all on the next one. Well, until then, toodles!